Saturday Mothers, winners of the 2025 Index on Censorship Freedom of Expression Award for campaigning. According to available numbers, more than 1,300 people have been disappeared since the 1980 military coup in Turkey. The repression continued into the 1990s, where members of the Kurdish community and left-wing political activists were singled out. It is likely we will never know the full number of those who disappeared. On the 27th of May, 1995, a movement was ignited, led by the mothers and family members of those who were disappeared. To fight for justice and ensure their loved ones were never forgotten, they started organizing protests in Istanbul every Saturday. 30 years later, this movement, now called the Saturday Mothers, is the longest peaceful protest in the history of Turkey. Since then, the Saturday Mothers have gathered every week at 12 noon in Galatasaray Square in the center of Istanbul to raise awareness of state-sponsored violence and militarism in Turkey. Despite intense repression, police violence, prohibitions, and judicial harassment, the Saturday Mothers are the only group who can hold press conferences on Istiklal Caddesi, the busiest street of Istanbul. 3 decades into the protests, the original mothers and family members are no longer alone. In fact, they have been joined by their children and grandchildren, creating an intergenerational protest for justice, accountability, and human rights. In its 30th year, the Saturday Mothers have worked to keep the forcibly disappeared on the public agenda. And by sharing their stories with the public, they have exposed state policies of denial and impunity. Since last January, they have met with policymakers and have organized art exhibitions and film screenings, shared short stories, and a music video for the song Benim Annem Cumartesi, My Mother on Saturday, performed by Teoman. The 700th vigil, that took place on the 25th of August 2018, was subject to a ban by the Beyoğlu district governor. When the protest continued as it had every week before, police broke it up using tear gas and water cannons and detained 46 people who were later released but indicted 2 years later in 2020. The first hearing, initially of 46 people, took place in March 2021. If found guilty, the defendants faced up to 3 years in prison. In March 2025, nearly 7 years after the 2018 vigil, the people standing trial for participating in the vigil were finally acquitted. Justice had prevailed. But for the Saturday Mothers, the rest of Turkey, and everyone across the globe, we are still awaiting justice for those disappeared.